What's up, guys? It's your boy KFB23 on the YT, and I'm back into the video. And today, I know it's been a while, but it's the NBA offseason, and I'm doing the three trades that this team should make. And I did this last year, and I'm going to do it this year. And starting for the team that probably needs so much, not so much of, they still have one of the reigning MVP, but how the front office has been talking about how roster construction about, oh, we might lose Jokic because of the tax apron and all that extra stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what happened between 2023 Nuggets front office and where we are now. The amount of decision makings and the lack of confidence that these guys can make a good trade or compete is kind of scary. But the good thing is they still have a reigning MVP player, one of the best offensive players of all time, one of the greatest probably the greatest offensive center of all time in Nikola Jokic. And deadass, I've watched some decent amount of Nuggets games, and I made three trades that I really hope they make. And one of them, I'm gonna start off with like a good three-team trade, not three-team trade, a good trade with the Washington Wizards. Right now, I think they would Michael Porter Jr. and Zeke Naji for Marcus Smart, Rashard Holmes, and Justin Champagnie. I understand that this is probably one of the only ones that I have. Where I have Michael Porter Jr. I only have two of them because I try to at least not keep using Michael Porter Jr. as a trade asset. Some Denver Nuggets fans want him traded, some of them don't. So I only use him twice. So right now, I'm really high on Justin Champagnie and Rashard Holmes. Right now, Justin Champagnie is a good defender on the Washington Wizards. I watched a couple of Washington Wizards games recently, and I was watching him and Rashard Holmes play just to make this video. And Rashard Holmes, like deadass, he's 31 years old. He's been in the league for a while now, and I have the most confidence that as a backup center, he is good. He can do when Jokic goes to the floor and they don't have Eric Gordon because he dealt with injuries, and they had, I forgot who they were DeAndre Jordan center minutes in the big year of 2025 is not the move, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not the respectable move. I think Rashawn Holmes could fill in that place perfectly. He plays vertically. He's a good rebounder, a good lob threat, and his floater game, it was a lot better with Tyrese Halliburton. Like peak Rashawn Holmes was better with he had elite playmaker like Tyrese Halliburton on the Kings, and that floater was hitting. I think it's just because he doesn't get enough minutes, and like the playmaking wise, he doesn't play with Jordan Poole, who recently just got traded, as much as he should to get as much playmaking opportunity. I think Jordan Poole is a good playmaker. I don't think he's that good of a playmaker, but even though but Rashard Holmes doesn't really have enough time with Jordan Poole on the floor. And with Marcus Smart, I think they did Marcus Smart and him cooler dimension. They were pretty decent. And like I said, it's the Wizards. It is the Wizards. Justin Champagnie, knockdown shooter. Like I said, a decent defender, a good small forward just to replace. Because right now, I deadass feel like go with Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson was good this playoffs. I wouldn't say he was amazing, but he's a good small forward in this league. He won't be a top 21, but like what you need. And Justin Champagnie shot 38% on threes this year on the 3 to 4 attempts, which it's not going to be Michael Porter Jr. when he's elite offensively. It's just going to be there and somebody to guard. With Marcus Smart on the court, that's going to help them defensively. Like the regular season Denver Nuggets were terrible. They picked up in the playoffs, but the regular season they were garbage. They were bad. That's due to Aaron Gordon being gone, and that's probably one of the reasons why Jokic probably couldn't win the MVP because damn near like bro, that team's offense. I had no, I in my brain, I had the Denver Nuggets losing to the Clippers this year because how bad that defense was. Game one in Clippers Denver Nuggets, dead ass. Jokic was a cone, but this right here, I feel like it would help them defensively. It's gonna be a little struggle with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has become a better shooter, but Aaron Gordon and Marcus Smart on the court, like I said, if Jokic could play with Russell Westbrook and make him seem like a pretty decent shooter because he was a decent shooter, and another two guard on the bench that could help Jamal Murray. If they want to start Marcus Smart, at least I don't know what Russ is going to do this offseason, but they could put Braun back on the bench and they could have Justin Champagnie because the bench depth on the Nuggets is really bad, so they can put Braun back on the bench even though he had an amazing year. I'm not saying he deserves to be put back on the bench, but but the bench is a lot better when he is coming off of it. That's just my opinion. Marcus Smart, like a two guard the POA. He has regrets. I don't think it was Marcus DPOY, Marcus Smart 11 year, but like I said, 31 years old, still a dog. He still wants to compete for a championship. He does not want to be in Washington Wizards like being a veteran. I feel like he's still able to compete at a high level. And the good thing is, with the second sack apron, Marcus Smart is like he comes off the books this year. If he doesn't do good, Rashawn Tone comes off the books this year. But Justin Champagne, he's only making around like $8 million per year, and they can still have at least they can be under the second tax apron and still have some things to do and some moves to make. The next trade I got up was it was a little simple. It was just something simple, some marginal improvement. It's not going to be. I don't think they would be done after making this trade. I said, hey, everybody wants a piece of this guy, and I think the Denver Nuggets should also put their hat in the race. My pick is Lonzo Ball for Zeke Naji and Hunter Tyson. Oh, that Zeke Naji contract, it's just never been good. Like last year, I did this. It was dead ass. Zeke Naji has to go. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm fine with Zeke Naji. He just hasn't been what they paid for. That's my personal opinion. And Lonzo Ball, I feel like Lonzo Ball this year was all right. It was right. He came back. He seemed pretty decent. He played like around 35 to 40 games this year, and he was I think he still had the playmaking. I think he still had the passing. Defense probably was a little wasn't probably the best he ever had, but it was still impactful. And a couple of games under his belt, Lonzo at his best is a good defender. I don't know if he's gonna reach back to what he was before the injury, but he was still a good defender this year. And in personal opinion, whatever they do with Russell Westbrook, if Russell Westbrook goes to the Sacramento Kings and does what he want to do over there, I think it's like we have Alonzo Ball replacement. I don't think he'll give you as much as Russ did, but the decision making and passing and what Alonzo Ball could bring to the table as a guy that is able to run pick and rolls, able to do half court passes, and another elite playmaker with Jokic, which I would say Russell Westbrook was a good playmaker. It was just the turnovers, and I don't think this. I think this year Lonzo Ball. I don't even think he averaged that many turnovers in the time he did play. I think he only averaged this year. It was about 1.6 turnovers per game. It wasn't anything crazy. And the 3-point percentage, it was not like he shot 34% on 6 attempts per game, which is still pretty good. And in every single lineup that was with that feature any 5 man line that featured Lonzo Ball was always a positive. Not it was only like one or two that wasn't, but that was mostly with bench players, and I feel like still a positive player. It's just the only concern is probably the health concern. I think the Bulls would probably need to take would ask for at least a protected first round pick, which at this point, if it's a lottery protected or it's top 20 protected first round pick, I feel like if I'm Denver Nuggets, taking at least a flyer on Lonzo Ball wouldn't be bad. It's another big playmaker off the bench. It's another guy who could play the two guard if he really needs to, because he's still 6'6", 6'7", and he can still play guard. And if you still believe in Michael Porter Jr. or you still want to trade him afterwards, you still have the flexibility to get something better, get a center better, get a power forward, small forward. It's just that backup shoots the backup point guard spot, which is really needs necessary. And I feel like Lonzo Ball can still is a good passer because I feel like the only thing that was probably the best passer outside of Jokic on that team, because I think last year the fact that the entry passes, I feel like when teams were fronting Jokic, most people on the court could not figure out how to get him the ball, except for like a Russell Westbrook, but people were just double teaming and leaving open. I will say they're probably still going to double team and leave Alonzo Ball open and still dare make shots, but I feel like he can still hurt teams more, especially wide open. Russell Westbrook wasn't doing that all year, but he was still hurting teams when he left them wide open. But when I will say this, when the team is if the team's not healthy, it's probably not going to look as good, because when Russell Westbrook was like he needed to have an increased role, he did do his job, and when he needed him more often than not, he did do some positives. I will say there was a lot of negatives. That Timberwolves game where Jokic dropped 60, 10, and 10, and he was out there just missing layups and dunks. He was definitely doing that. But it's just you got him to the team and limited minutes. Hopefully he can stay healthy, playing 20 minutes a game, doing his job. That's why I pick Lonzo Ball. And with my third and final trade, this was my let me get a little let me Let me do something outside my means. Let me go a little. It's still realistic. It's still realistic. Let me go. Let me push that line a little bit. Let me cross and tiptoe if to debate in a conversation. What I chose was a trade with the Brooklyn Nets for Nicholas Claxton and Cameron Johnson. They give him MPJ, Zeke Naji, and they go all in on the first round picks. They give him 3 first rounders. Give him 3 first rounders. And right now, the Nets might take that. I don't think it's a done deal, but 3 first round picks for the Brooklyn Nets will take that with also having MPJ, and they can still flip him for something better if he plays up. Because if MPJ averages 20 and can stay healthy and still they can still swap him for something else. This the reason why I want Nicholas Claxton on the team because the double big lineup in this league is right now it's taking over. If you have double bigs lineups, you're dead ass probably winning. You're winning because if I go all the way to OKC, double big lineups with Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, who was giving Jokic problems in the playoffs, you could add a guy like Nicholas Claxton, who isn't that good offensively, but adding a defender like he was, I will say this year he wasn't the best defender. He wasn't 2022 Nicholas Claxton. He wasn't 2021 Nicholas Claxton. But the fact that he's on the Brooklyn Nets and and like the fact that he's probably not competing for, he knows for a fact he's not competing for anything. I feel like he's going to up it. I feel like he's going to go back to what he was, a versatile defender, easy off the pick and rolls, short roller man. Like not just I don't know why I said short roller man can help side defense, pick and rolls. He can stay in front of quicker, faster guards. He can still do all that offensively. He's still limited. He can hit his free throws a lot better than he did back then. He can hit free throws a lot better. I've watched Nicholas Claxton sell series because he couldn't make a free throw, and I will say he has gotten better at that aspect of his game throughout the years. Let me what is this? Is so you're not going to load? You're not going to load? Oh, thank you, thank you. Right now he's shooting from the free throw line. This year was 56%, but previous years it was around 60 75. I feel like he's gonna have to buckle up. He's gonna have to tighten. He's gonna have to tighten. Oh, he shot 51%. Oh, I did not see that before. Look, press and record. But regardless, it still wouldn't matter. He still have to. He's going to have to work at that. That's the only. I would say that's a bad thing about him. He's still not a good free throw shooter. Defensively, he's regressed. But the fact that having 2 bigs on the team and adding the fact that you have Cameron Johnson who could come off the bench if you have to, or he probably will start because Aaron Gordon probably can't. I'm not putting Aaron Gordon as small forward. I asked Nuggets fans, would you mind that? And they said not really, but honest to God, I don't think you probably should do that. And having an Aaron Gordon player on the bench is still really good. Like this is still improving the bench wise, and having Nicholas Claxton on the defensive side of the ball with probably you're gonna have to start Peyton Watson with Bruce Brown, Jamal Murray with that lineup. Like it's still going to help the defense. He's still an all defensive caliber player, which I don't know. He didn't make one, but there was a dead ass year where I think when before Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant got traded, in my personal opinion, he was gonna be an all defensive caliber player, but then the media stopped paying attention to him, and then he was dead ass top 3 in defensive player of the year voting that year, and then he completely fell off, even though his numbers were better defensively after the season, which I don't control the vote. If the media wants to do something like that, they got it. They got it. So I feel like double big lines because you already seen it with Carl Anthony Towns. Even with the biggest offensive limited, with two bigs is still an advantage. And you look at back at Rudy Gobert and Rudy Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns. I'm not gonna say Jokic is a good shooter as Cat, but Jokic playmaking passing wise could dead ass make up for that with the small foot spaces on the court. And the fact that I'm not gonna say Rudy Gobert, Nicholas Claxton, and Rudy Gobert is the same defensively, but the fact that having two 6'11" guys who can play big, move their feet, Jokic can move his feet, not well. When the playoffs start, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. So and helping. And when Jokic is off the court, they can just move him at center. Aaron Gordon at power forward, Cam Johnson or Peyton Watson or Julian Schroeder, and just have the day. The backup point guard spot, I don't know if Russell Westbrook will come back or whatever. You're going to have to figure that out in free agency. He can pick up a Cam Thomas. Not Cam, yeah, Cam Thomas. I like him. I like Cam Thomas. He's like great defender. He can knock down a 3 occasionally. and he can still handle the ball. I like Cam Thomas, but I don't think anybody's gonna let him back in the league. So that's just me personally. This is my bigger go home trade though. So comment down in the video if you like any of these trades. Do you see a problem with these? I would really appreciate it. And also comment. I've been trying to watch like role players or like guys that are slept on games. Because right now I'm going to watch a bunch of Keontae George games to see how well he did this year. I think probably like 2 or 3 just to see his good games, his average games, and stuff like that. But hey, I'm KFB23 on the Y at T, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So I'm out. Peace.